Hey guys. Well, we are, if you haven't noticed, in kind of a week of revelations this week, and it's just getting started. We are building today into this full moon in Cancer that's going to be happening tomorrow in a conjunction to Mercury retrograde, in a trine and sextile to Uranus. And today we have an exact Sun Uranus trine going on. Revelations, you guys, awakenings to things, a desire to free ourselves and to liberate ourselves, people being real, people being authentic, and probably some like outpourings of long withheld feelings and emotions about things that may really be clearing up some things from the past, helping us to gain some type of validation that is actually helping us to make a choice or a decision that we have been needing. That's sort of a long time coming moving forward. This is a day and a week where perhaps some crucial information that has been missing for a while, missing pieces of the puzzle, may be spontaneously falling into place or coming together in such a way that really is just very eye-opening in one way or another. So lots to talk about today, you guys, and the energy as we are building towards this full moon tomorrow that is going to be more of the same on an even more intense level. So let's get into this chart. Let's talk about how things are playing out for us today and what we may be able to expect as we are heading into the full moon energy that is coming up tomorrow. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Thursday, January 5th, 2023. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. If you guys stick with me till the end of the report, we're also going to be talking about a collective tarot reading that we have done for the day, just to sort of tap the energetic field from more than one modality and give us a better, more well-rounded overview of what we have playing out on a vibrational level today. So we're going to do that as well. But we're going to start with the astrology, and today could be one of those days where things are just very different. Things are going along a very different path and trajectory than they usually do or than we had expected them to. It could be one of those days where something just sort of hits us out of the blue, blows our mind in some type of way, totally like shakes up our plan and our schedule and our itinerary and our pre-planned like linear trajectory of events, or just really also makes us question things maybe, or brings a sense of clarity in terms of something that we have been questioning for a long time. The sun, you guys, today, first and foremost, okay, we're building energetically right now into our full moon that is going to be happening on the 6th, tomorrow. The moon is entering the sign of Cancer today. This is a full moon in Cancer, so we are in the Cancer Capricorn energy right now, setting us up, intensifying, building all day towards this full moon tomorrow. This full moon tomorrow is going to be a very revealing full moon in a lot of ways, and we will be spending quite a bit of time talking about that. But I just want to say, as I start talking about the aspects and the Uranus energy today, we need to keep in mind that this is in the context of what we are building into tomorrow and this full moon that is coming. So, and also in the context of Venus having just moved into the sign of Aquarius. So I will say, with Venus having recently moved into the sign of Aquarius, we are setting up for this full moon with an inherent desire for realness and authenticity in relating to others. Venus in the sign of Aquarius, and that's sort of like the underlying drive right now in terms of where we're feeling a sense of like inner peace and balance. Like we're really more likely to be seeking out authentic expression and authentic connection and authentically relating with others. Realness is the whole vibe right now, okay, you guys, moving towards the Aquarius season and the Aquarius energy, and as we are coming to the highlight and the midpoint of our Capricorn cycle. But anyways, that being said, talking about Aquarius so much today because the sun is, as I said, forming an exact trine in the sky to the planet Uranus. Uranus, of course, being the ruler of Aquarius, associated with all these Aquarian themes, really sort of the leader in terms of our energetic and frequency-based progression into the age of Aquarius right now. Uranus is a very big player, and Uranus is actually about to go direct at the end of this month, right around the time of the new moon in Aquarius, I believe. So we're really going to be getting very well acquainted with the Uranian vibes throughout the month of January. Very strong Uranus energy we're going to have going on. And today we are getting a very strong dose of that as well, with the sun in Capricorn coming into the exact trine with Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And This trine, you guys, is happening in earth signs, right? Capricorn where the sun is, Taurus where Uranus is. And I always say, I've noticed that when aspects are playing out specifically in earth signs, we have a greater likelihood of like seeing things like actually happen and actually transpire and actually take place like physically in our experience on the ground. It's not the air sign like in the realms of ideas so much, where it might be these like massive flashes of insight or epiphanies or stuff, or fire signs where we might spontaneously be like very impassioned to do something or pursue something, or water signs where it might be like a powerful emotional or an intuitive urge that hits us. Like, no, this isn't the earth signs. This is things like practically tangibly manifesting and happening in our lives along the lines of the Sun Uranus theme. And of course, this is a trine aspect. Trines facilitate things. So this is like this free flow facilitation of energy. Uranus is also the great rectifier, rules the great awakening, and a higher level of conscious understanding about things as well, and puts things right. Ultimately, it's also the most disruptive planet and brings really dynamic and sudden change. Uranus in a trine to the sun, though, this creates a very like excitable energy and a desire for something with, remember, this is enhanced. Whatever's happening with the sun Uranus trine today is enhanced by the fact that Venus is also right now in the sign of Aquarius, because like I said, we are inherently right now more geared towards a desire for this relating with others, and we're valuing as well this authenticity and this realness. Well, now we have the sun, like what is making us grow and thrive, like our spirit, like our character, just this essential life force energy coming in today and hitting the trine with Uranus. This is also a desire for that which really makes us feel alive and really stimulates us, and something new and something exciting, and maybe some type of drastic change. And earth signs, it's going to have a tendency to manifest in terms of like out of the ordinary things happening to us, or out of the ordinary conversations, or things from the past specifically as well, because we're talking about this retrograde energy that is so strong right now with Mercury and Mars in the sign of Mercury and Mars both retrograde. And this full moon that's playing out is actually going to be in aspect, conjunction, and opposition to Mercury retrograde as well. There's a lot of retrograde themes going on right now, a lot of corrections, a lot of revisions, a lot of things being sort of cleared up. And I feel like this Sun Uranus trine today is going to act as some type of catalyst, perhaps, in us either gaining an awakening to something, or some type of wild times hitting us that just shakes things up in such a way that like really helps us to, I don't know, discover or align with or experience something that really brings us back to life and makes us feel alive in some type of a way. Sun trining Uranus generally, this is surprises, excitement, discovery, a desire for freedom and change, but it again brings back, it's like the sun. This is what makes us feel alive. This is what makes us grow. This is, what we are reaching and growing towards to become. And it's the light, right? It's what inspires us a lot of times, and just what triggers also a process of growth and what we're growing towards. And with the trine to Uranus, it is also stimulating this desire for this realness and this authentic expression, and awakening and stimulating this desire for freedom and truth, and in alignment with our highest potential as well. Uranus to me also really represents, like, it represents the future, and it represents collective consciousness as well. And I feel like a lot of times it has the tendency of sort of activating or awakening us to the truth of our own destiny or of our own potential, and like making things, rearranging things in our outer world in a way to sort of push us in the direction of going towards and developing into that potential. That's one reason I feel like Uranus oftentimes brings a lot of disruptions. And, we've all been experiencing a massive Uranus transit over this past couple of years, as we've had Uranus and Saturn in square. And what has that done for us? Uranus and Saturn in square, what that has done is like totally disrupted our status quo, our comfort zone, the foundations, and the forms and the structures that we had created around us, like the self-imposed limitations too in the sign of Aquarius, where Saturn has been our own potential, or what has been boxing in or holding back our own conscious awakening. Like that is what Uranus has come through and has done, and has pretty much, wiped the slate clean in a lot of situations and circumstances and in people's lives, in terms of, really putting them in position or removing them from things that were preventing this path towards authentic growth. As of course, we are headed towards the age of Aquarius and on this trajectory where universe is pushing us towards this process of self-actualization and discovering and rediscovering our potential and activating our destiny, going through this hero's journey, as well as noted by the Chiron themes that are so relevant this year. Also, it's funny because Chiron has recently stationed direct, and Chiron is also changing degrees today in the midst of this, bringing in these themes of this hero's journey from these states of self-victimhood from these states of victimhood and lack mentality to these states of self-mastery and an ability to really be a much more conscious creator of our experiences, because we're no longer being sort of propelled and controlled by the more subconscious forces of our psyche and of the shadow sides of our our subconscious mind and stuff like that, which is a very powerful force and a very powerful influence in the experiences that we end up aligning and attracting to ourselves, which, now that I've brought that up, is also sort of a theme that we are dealing with as we head towards this full moon tomorrow, which, with the moon moving into the sign of Cancer, you guys, today, another aspect of the energy as it's playing out is it's triggering and activating the black moon. The black moon is currently in the sign of Cancer. The black moon is currently at 30 degrees of Cancer. This next couple days and this full moon in Cancer, this is the last Black moon and Cancer activation that we are going to have for quite a while, because it takes the black moon 9 months to transit each sign, and so it's kind of a lengthy process to go all the way around the zodiac. We're about to wrap up this black moon and Cancer energy that we've been in for the past 9 months with this big full moon that's coming up right now in the sign of Cancer, and that is another energy that's sort of playing into this whole saga as it's unfolding right now. And we're also simultaneously going through this process of sort of like conquering these lower aspects and dimensions of ourselves so that we can free ourselves in like clearing these shadow side issues associated with these subconscious fears that can have this power over us, that can keep us in these repetitive cycles. Like the South Node is involved as well, and it's also triggering and activating this karmic detox process that we've been going through throughout the course of 2022. So, this full moon is basically what I'm trying to say is it's packing a powerful punch. It's going to be very revealing. It's going to create a lot of major change. And today, with the Sun Uranus trine going on, Venus in Aquarius, again, like realness is sort of where we're geared, like in what we're moving towards, and a desire for something new and something different that's more in alignment with this sense of authenticity that we are coming to embody within ourselves now. So revelations, you guys, in feelings, I do believe is going to be sort of the theme today, and also building into this full moon in Cancer tomorrow. Don't be surprised. The moon moves into the sign of Cancer today. Cancer is ruled by the moon. This is a very emotional sign. This is like the expression of our soul, okay? Especially when we have the moon in the early degrees of Cancer forming a cardinal square to Jupiter currently in the early degrees of Aries. Jupiter expands things. Jupiter supersizes things, takes things over the top. Cancer, the moon, this very emotional sign with the black moon being activated as well, this sort of maybe triggering our issues. There could be some very, very big overblown overflows with this Cancer water energy of emotions, of feelings, of expressions, of, like the depths of our soul and stuff, especially that people have been holding back for long periods of time. People are likely to be really feeling in touch with their soul and their inner nature, and it just sort of like spilling out. Again, there's likely to be like something about this having been repressed for a while as well, with all of this retrograde energy, outpouring of emotions that we've been holding back. Big emotional expressions, big emotional displays are very likely. Things coming out and triggering these big emotional responses and displays as well. And it could be, again, like things from the past. a lot of pieces of the puzzle, you guys, like coming together. And this is because on one hand, it's like people are telling on themselves without even trying to. It's like they can't hold back, like, and we're just seeing things from a different direction. We're gaining new information that we didn't have before, or just like things are, again, like sort of being orchestrated and falling into place in certain ways that are just making things perhaps much more clear to us. And again, this could also really have to do with, I mean, we're talking about the moon in Cancer, right? This has a tendency to do with things that have happened like behind closed doors in this Cancer Capricorn axis related to power and control, or with Pluto there too, and these black moon issues, abuses of power and control that are being exposed, revelations, secrets revealed, seeing the ugly truth about things, and or just seeing the truth about things, period, and the impact that that has on changing the trajectory of what we want to associate ourselves with going forward. A lot of toxicity about things likely to be revealed as well. We're talking about the sign of Cancer, where the moon is home, family, community, mothering generally. This is also our sense of safety and security, and that perhaps feeling threatened in some type of a way. Unstable, like home work life balance. It could also be themes coming up. Or this is also like our public versus our private life. Again, like behind closed doors type of things, like themes about reputation, public presentation versus reality, and you know what the situation is really like. Also, it can bring up issues with our ability to care for and nurture ourselves and others. But really, like, I feel like ultimately what a lot of today and this energy tomorrow and this full moon, which again, we're gonna have a whole report tomorrow to talk all about that. What I feel like they're really boiling down to though is exposing to us personally what we need in order to feel like safe and secure and nourished and fulfilled on this emotional level. And because of all this Uranus energy that's coming into play, it's like we're getting real with ourselves, we're seeing the truth about things, and you know, we're seeing the opportunity that that actually is presenting for us to change things in a way that is going to make us actually much more happy, fulfilled, abundant, and feeling just more self-empowered. I keep going back to this sense of self-empowerment that we're gaining whenever I'm like looking at the energy as it's presenting lately. And that's where it's all heading. It's like we are being given these opportunities for this enhanced sense of self-empowerment, coming sort of like into our own, like coming back onto our own throne. And, you know, we're seeing this opportunity, and it's requiring us to really like lay down the burdens that we've been carrying, especially in terms of maybe sense of guilt, or just like negative feelings, or feeling bad about certain things or certain ways, or a sense of loss. Like we are getting over what has been holding us back in the past, our fears, our insecurities, the negative just associations and thought loops and stuff like that that have been preventing us from doing maybe, you know, what we should be doing, or what we know we should be doing, or what we've been wanting to do for a while. It's like all that sort of being stripped away in this energy. We're seeing the truth, we're aligning with the truth, we're desiring to do things in a new way. And also with Jupiter right now in the sign of Aries, like there is a lot of universal support for us taking risks, moving in a new direction, in alignment with an embodiment of a more authentic and personal truth. So, you know, it's helping us. This square that we have playing out today between the sun, or I mean, between the moon in Cancer and Jupiter in Aries, what I was just talking about, this is helping us. You know, it's giving us the passion, the motivation, the courage to conquer our fears with this black moon energy being activated, and to overcome our limitations, and to make the changes necessary to release ourselves from these past cycles of attachment that are no longer feeding our soul, perhaps maybe in the way that we thought that they were in the past. Like I said, there's also a south node element and a north node element that is tied into this as well, but South node right now is in the sign of Scorpio. We have this full moon that's playing out in the sign of Cancer. Both water signs. It's not going to be an exact trine, but it's going to be, you know, with a couple degree orb, and a pretty close trine between the full moon itself in the sign of Cancer and the South node in the sign of Scorpio. Whatever, you know, revelations about the truth of our own soul, or like what we really need to feel more fulfilled and just secure and safe and nourished internally, is going to be facilitated by or facilitating a detachment from the past. There's revelations with this Mercury retrograde energy as well. We may receive some type of significant validation that makes us feel a lot more self-empowered for some reason, that helps us to detach and move away from situations from the past that had been keeping us from aligning with our truth, or in a state where we were just hiding from our own sense of like personal authenticity and realness because, you know, we were perhaps afraid of the consequences of that in one way or another. Self-empowerment is definitely coming through as this energy is coming in, and it has a lot to do as well with this karmic detox and release from these toxic patterns that are also being emphasized in terms of whatever awakening or whatever realizations or new understandings we are gaining at this point in time. So major revelations about people, validation about things from the past. This is how I feel like we may really be seeing energy play out. I mean, this week, but today and also moving into the weekend as well. Mind-blowing information, radical changes and reversals, relationship themes also coming into play. Remember, you guys, we started our new year with Venus and Pluto in exact conjunction all year. I feel like there's going to be some pretty intense relationship themes that are sort of coming to a head or exposing themselves to us, or introducing like just a level of intensity, or I don't know, but there's likely to be an emphasis also, I feel like right now, on relationship themes. Also with all this Mars in Gemini, Mercury, this retrograde energy, partners, pairs, work relationships, all that type of stuff could be really strong right now. And also today we have the sun at 16 degrees of Capricorn. That Sabian symbol is school grounds filled with boys and girls in gym suits. And this degree always reminds me of like a degree of like sexual tension and stuff like that too. And I feel like is also indicating these relationship themes and these like hormonal fluctuations and stuff like that as well. I don't know, but I do feel like relationships are probably playing a big role in things as they're unfolding right now as well, along with like family situations, but discovering the inner workings of unseen or misunderstood aspects of the true nature of things from the past as well. This is definitely, I feel like, what this is all about. And it's interesting because we have the Earth today at 16 degrees of Cancer, obviously in an opposition to the sun. And that Sabian symbol is a man studying a mandala in front of him with the help of a very ancient book. So it's like, again, like maybe information from the past, or gaining some type of just like a different really gaining some penetrating insight right into like the inner workings of stuff based on some type of information that we're gaining access to from the past, a very ancient book. So it's interesting how that alignment is coming into play as well. And then also awakening to our own truth and the truth of our own feelings based on whatever new insight we are gaining, like literally exposing things behind the scenes. We have Mercury, the messenger planet, today at 20 degrees of Capricorn, a hidden choir singing. So it's like, I mean, singing, this is sort of like a also conveying information, right? Like hearing something, a message being conveyed, but it's a hidden choir singing. So hidden things being seen or heard or noticed that are impacting what is going on in the scenario as it's playing out somehow. Mercury, the messenger planet at that degree. So literally exposing things that have been going on behind the scenes. And today could just generally be a really wild day. Anytime that we have the sun making an aspect with Uranus, and this is a trine. So, you know, the nature of the Uranus energy is likely to be less disruptive than it would be if it was maybe like the conjunction or the opposition or the square for sure. But it's more like things just sort of falling into place, or just like this more facilitated ability to be off the beaten path a bit today somehow. But it is likely to be like a wild day, especially with all this overflow of feelings and emotions that is coming through as well. People essentially, like I said, exposing themselves and their true feelings and their true nature as well, as if it's almost as if they like almost don't even have a choice. Like it's just sort of coming out. And with all this retrograde energy, it's like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how things play out today. You guys, let me know if you have a real interesting day. So we are going for a ride over this next couple of days. It should be quite revealing, quite validating, and a long time coming. I feel like this is really with this Mars Mercury retrograde, as we are wrapping up this retrograde, this is when, and going towards this full moon tomorrow, we are just in the heights of redefining our reality. We'll put it that way. Moving on, you guys, let's talk about the tarot now for a minute. We've got some cards to talk about today as they came out of the deck for us. And I kind of already talked about this message a little bit as I was doing the report, but I'm going to tell it to you guys again and actually show you the cards associated with it, because it is so in alignment actually with the astrology as it's playing out and the message that is coming through in regards to the vibration of this full moon that's coming up tomorrow as well. But the first card that we had coming out is the Page of Pentacles. So we're talking about the realization of some type of new potential or new opportunity. This is Pentacles, this is earth energy, this is physical 3D manifesting happening in our reality. Now, the next card that we had coming out of the deck is the Five of Cups. And this is a card about disappointment, loss, feeling upset, and just generally like being more attached to these negative emotions like depression and like being more gloomy and just like seeing the glasses half empty. It's also, you know, it's called the crying over spilled milk card, but it definitely just denotes this like sense of disappointment and loss and sadness. However, we had 3 cards coming out in a pile after that, so we're taking them all together. And we had the 10 of Wands in reverse, followed by the Star and the King of Pentacles, okay? And then on the back of the deck, we had the Five of Swords in reverse. So when I put all of these cards together, what this message to me is specifying and indicating for, you know, sort of where we're at today vibrationally heading into this full moon is that, you know, we are recognizing, look at, we start with the Page of Pentacles, and then we end with the King of Pentacles. We are recognizing the opportunity that exists for us to grow into the state of, you know, essentially like a greater sense of self-mastery and creating a stable and secure and abundant existence or a situation for ourselves, or, you know, the potential that we have to come into this much greater state of self-empowerment. Okay, we are recognizing the potential within us, we are recognizing the opportunity, and we're seeing it as something valuable with this pentacle energy that we have going on. Now these cards in between, you know, we were talking about the Five of Cups, and then we're talking about the 10 of Wands in reverse and the Star. So what do we need to, and then the Five of Swords on the back of the deck in reverse. So what is the progression in order to go from, you know, this goal or this inspiration or this potential that we're acknowledging to the full development of that potential and us being in this much greater state of self-empowerment? Well, what we're realizing, and realize the Star card, this is a card of Aquarius. This is a card of Uranus and inspiration and hope and change and a positive direction and, you know, the activation of destiny and the activation of potential. And with the 10 of Wands in reverse, right along with the Star card, this is us dropping the burden of the disappointment or of the loss or of the pain or of the guilt or, you know, of the more shadow side issues or the negative feelings that have been weighing heavy on us, the burdens that we've been carrying that have been keeping us from aligning with the ability to activate our potential and to move through this process of self-actualization and to be re-inspired in alignment with our own sense of self-empowerment. Because also Five of Swords of these like conflicting and self-sabotaging subconscious programming and negative thought loops and attachment to, you know, just these more ego-based like ideas and issues and complexes that were standing in the way of us gaining our own sense of victory and self-empowerment. What this reading to me is saying is, you know, we are realizing what's really important and what we really value. And simultaneously, there is, and moving through this full moon, it's like this awakening, right? Or this inspiration or this light that is coming on within us that is helping us to drop this burden that is this negative attachment to the past that has been keeping us in these negative thought loops, in these self-sabotaging situations, attached to that which is sabotaging our ability to come into the star energy and develop to our true potential in alignment with this sense of self-empowerment and personal stability and commitment to our own personal well-being that's represented by this King of Pentacles energy. So I feel like this message particularly is saying that we are seeing the value in dropping the burden, in moving away from that which from the negative emotions that we have allowed to control us and to sabotage our progress and to keep us stuck and to work against us in the past, because we are seeing the potential, we're seeing the truth. And something about this full moon is likely, and today, you know, this week moving into the rest of the month of January is likely to inspire and towards Aquarius season as well, something within us that gets us back in alignment with our personal truth, makes us feel comfortable being, you know, more real and who we really are, which is this catalyst for this sense of personal growth that is, again, putting us back in this place of self-empowerment, as has been indicated by the aspects and the energy that have been playing out since the new moon in Capricorn, I believe. So I find that to be kind of revealing as well in terms of just how this energy is playing out, that those specific cards would come out like that today as we are heading into this full moon energy and all that that is indicating. So we are going to grab one more card now, you guys. Synchronicity card, God, Spirit, Universe. What is the advice? Okay, and we've got one flipping over in the deck right now. Yep, and here we go. Sun trining Uranus, this desire for authenticity, this Venus in Aquarius, this desire for realness, this desire for personal change and personal growth. And the card we get is you can only change yourself. And that's absolutely right, because this is this individualized process. This process of self-actualization is nothing that anyone can do for us and nothing that we can make anyone else do. It's this individual hero's journey that it's us and our higher selves and a higher power. And the memo, the advice today is you can only change yourself. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. And that's so true, because, you know, as we always talk about, like, it's this snowball effect. It's this ripple effect. It's one light going on and then that inspiring another light to go on and then that inspiring another light to go on. And then, you know, it's one person going through this process of self-actualization, this hero's journey, and then inspiring that and the other people in their lives, and then, you know, this ripple effect that is coming out, but in alignment with the Chiron archetype, the wounded healer, teacher, master archetypal energy. It's about like wisdom through experience, teaching through experience, leading through experience, leading by example. And that is exactly what this message and our advice for today is. It says, be an example for others. You cannot change others' behavior any other way except to show by good example what sort of things a good life can bring one. Forgive them for their failures. Forgive them for their words. Love them, and by your example, show them the way. This is the only way except to pray for them to know and to follow your example. So, you guys, as we're going through this process, you know, it's about getting real with ourselves, standing in that truth, standing in that power, and then people can like it or they cannot like it, but there's a good chance that you going through that process yourself is actually, you know, they might resist against it. It really might trigger a lot of people, but, you know, as this black moon energy is coming up and people are being forced to sort of stare at their shadows and figure out, you know, who they really are and what they really need, that initial trigger that you caused in somebody by standing in your own light and your own truth will, you know, alchemize into their own personal journey and coming into like a higher version of themselves as well. So we're all each other's catalysts for change and growth, but we can only do it through being our own living example. And that is the guidance and the advice and the memo, the message. I don't know why I keep saying the memo, the message for today. So that's what I have to say today, you guys. A message from the stars, a message from the cards. Hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can kind of give you a little clarity in terms of what's going on with the energy as it's playing out and maybe why things are so wild and crazy right now. Anyways, if you guys did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested and appreciate this type of astrology content as well. Leave me comments, you guys. Let me know how you're doing out there and how this energy is affecting you and playing into your various circumstances that you have going on. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff in my description box below if you have any interest in any of that. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. What are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about the full moon in Cancer in a lot more detail. So I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful Sun, Trine, Uranus day. And until tomorrow, bye, guys.